So today we're just going to be looking at a basic Phase 2 Clone Trooper. And this was TVC action figure number 15. I got this recently from Tungori. He's been having a lot of these for sale. And it's one I've been wanting in my collection for a long time. It's not the most expensive, but at the same time, he's not one that I'm personally seeking out aggressively. And I'm sure lots of other people aren't as well. If you get him new in the card, he can be a little pricey for what he is, but if you get him loose, he's typically not too much. So that's what I ended up doing, is getting him loose. Uh, Personally, I think this is a very underrated mold for the Clone Trooper. It wasn't used for too many action figures. I think the 327th with that creature that they ride on Felucia, that may have been the first one that used this particular mold or the tooling for it. And this one did get a few other releases after that. TVC number 15, this one, and then the 212th Clone Trooper that was released in the TVC line as well. The original one, that is, also utilizes this. And then after that, that's when they went to the VC45 mold that they've been using since, and now that's looking like it's going to be retired here pretty soon as well. But like I said, it's a pretty underrated sculpt, I think. It's nothing really new. There's no real new tooling about it. It's mostly reused parts from other Clone Troopers, like the antenna mold. And there's a little bit of new engineering involved, but nothing too extravagant. So like I said, I did get this action figure loose, so unfortunately I don't have the package here to show you, but I will tell you the package, basically the picture of the Clone Trooper on is one of the more iconic ones that we've seen of the Phase 2 clone from Revenge of the Sith. You know it when you see it. Other than that, nothing too much to say about it. So let's just take a look at this action figure. It's a little yellowed. It's not the worst though. And I'm glad to finally have this one in the collection, filling some holes in my TVC line. I think at this point I'm getting pretty close to collecting or having all the TVC 1.0 action figures. It's just a few missing here and there, I think. And this one fills one of those spots. Overall, I mean, he's all white with a little bit of black in him, so you can't really mess up the paint detailing too much. But for the most part, it looks really nice. I do recall this one is a variant, or there is a variant of it. I think on the original, he did not have the black visor painted. It was just completely white, or not the visor here, but this line on top of his visor. And then Hasbro went back and did a running change of it, and this one must be the running change to make it more accurate. But the paint's good for the most part. It is a Tungori action figure, so it's not going to be 100% perfect, and it might not even be 100% faithful to the actual release. But it's pretty close based upon the pictures I've seen of it and comparing it to this one. Other than the yellowing he has there at his hinges. So in terms of the articulation, he is super articulated. He does have a ball joint neck there. Pretty good range of motion. Hinge shoulders. And that has a really good range of motion as well. A little past 90 degrees. Hinged elbows. Swivel wrists. It's a little soft plastic too. That's okay. Hinged torso. And then hinge tips, which is, I think, probably one of the biggest differences between this one and the antenna mold, is this one came with the hinge tips. And hinged knees and hinged ankles as well. Another big difference from this one with the antenna mold is the helmet here, obviously. The antenna mold doesn't have a removable helmet, but this one does. And he has that pretty good Tamora Morrison head sculpt. This is the one that Hasbro was using during the Revenge of the Sith and Saga Collection days, and this was one of the last action figures that has featured it. And I really like this. This is actually probably my favorite head sculpt, even compared to what we have now. It is a squishy helmet, and as you can see, it's not one thing Hasbro has never really gotten too right about their Clone Trooper helmets is they're not perfectly aligned. As you can see, this one's a little sloped a little bit different than on this side of the mohawk there, basically. Might be something you can mold back into place. They've gotten it wrong on quite a few action figures over the years. In terms of accessories, he just comes with the one DC-17, that's it. It does have a little bit of paint detailing in it, some silver paint detailing on both sides. And he has that communicator sculpted on his right forearm there. Other than that, I think that's all I can really tell you about this. I just wanted to do something simple for once, and nothing too much more simple than basic Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Like I said, I really like this particular type of tooling. I think it's underrated, and it didn't get utilized very much. It's sandwiched in between the time of the antenna mold and the VC45 mold, so it didn't really get a lot of utilization. And at this point, I don't think we're ever going to see it utilized ever again. There's only a handful of Clone Troopers that did use it. So if you can get your hands on one of these, I would highly recommend them. It's a Phase 2 Clone Trooper. There's really nothing to say. You're either going to want it or you don't. And for me personally, I'm glad I own this particular one now. It fits well with the rest of my clone army, and I would recommend them for your collection as well. Tungori, like I said, it's hit or miss with a lot of his action figures, and lately I have been seeing he's out of stock of this one a lot, so he might be out at this point, and you might have to turn to eBay. But if you haven't already, check out his site. It's just like tungori.com, I think it is, and keep an eye on it. You might get them in stock again sometime soon. And I forget how much I paid for this. It was not very much at all, in the $10 range at most. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. There will be plenty more to come. And if you have not already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and it'll let you know when more videos get posted. And check out that Instagram link in the description as well. And thanks for watching.